Hey, family, what's going on? Welcome to the Motivate Podcast Show. The Motivate Podcast Show, we always say less, but we definitely want to believe for more. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that confidence, that people are born with confidence, or do you believe that confidence can be built over time? That's why I want to chop it up a little bit here for the next, I don't know, 7 or so minutes about confidence. Um, because there is a debate. There's a debate out there that that he or she, they're just born that way with that type of confidence, that type of swag, that type of moxie, that type of gumph or whatever else that's used to describe it. But here's the truth, friend, and the truth is, it's confidence that you're not born with confidence, that you can build confidence over time. You're not born with confidence. You can build confidence over time. Now, let me give you the opposite of that. What if you're in a situation where I heard a story of a young lady that when she was born, and her parents told her for every day of her life, from a small child up until the age of 10, they said they would hold her and look at her and say, you're one ugly child. Parents said that to her supposedly every day, and up until she to when she turned 10, I believe the story goes. And all the time that her parents were calling her ugly, it didn't affect her until she believed it. And on her 10th birthday, when she believed that what her parents had been telling her for 10 years of her life, then and only then did those words impact her life. So here's a young lady that was enjoying life. She believed something that was contrary to what she was, and she believed it, and then it changed her posture. And it's the same way I believe with confidence. You could be not have confidence, a lack of confidence. Maybe you are an introverted person, meaning that you avoid crowds, you avoid standing up in front of a crowd and speaking and being in charge or talking out loud, etc. But just because you are an introvert doesn't mean that you lack confidence. And so we're going to chop this up a little bit about confidence and what we should know as it relates to confidence, because I personally believe that confidence is built over time. But let's look at the definition of confidence. So, what is confidence? Confidence is the internal belief that you are capable and worthy and prepared to handle life's challenge, opportunities, and responsibilities. Confidence. Interesting definition, isn't it? Is the internal belief. I love that. It is the internal belief. Friends, so those who are building confidence are really building internal belief. You have to do what Michael Jackson said, look at the man in the mirror and seeing if you can see a change. So confidence, internal belief that you are capable and that you're worthy and that you are prepared to handle life's challenges, opportunities, and or responsibilities. That's confidence. That's confidence. So how is confidence built? How is it built? We're not born with confidence, Rich. So how is it built? So great question. I'm glad you asked. Confidence is built from consistency. Consistency is birthed from a discipline that's void of an emotional need for void of a need for an emotional stimulus. Consistency. Let me say that again. Consistency. Consistency, friend, is birthed from a discipline that is void of the need for an emotional stimulus. In other words, when I go down the path of building up an eternal belief for my confidence, I go down the path of building that consistency. Consistency is a discipline that's void of a need for an emotional stimulus. So as I'm building this consistency, I'm building this internal belief, and this internal belief is causing me to act a certain way. When I'm acting a certain way, I'm building that consistency. And the discipline for the consistency is void of an emotional stimulus, meaning that I do it even when I don't feel like doing it. See, successful people have formed a habit of doing the things that unsuccessful people simply don't feel like doing. One of the things that I started doing here, I've been doing it maybe the past month and a half or 2 months, is getting up at 5 a.m. Now, I usually get up, I was getting up at like 5:30, and then I started adding more to my plate, and then I moved it to 5:15. Now I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, for some of you, 5 o'clock is not early. You're probably up at 3:30. I don't know, but I'm just saying for me, when I started that process of getting up at 5 a.m., were mornings, and today was one of those days when I got up. That alarm went off at 5 a.m. Man, I'm sitting there, I'm laying there, I'm thinking about, oh, I got to bed late, X, Y, Z, this, that, and the other thing. It really feels so nice just laying there next to my wife. But I do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up. So that consistency, confidence is an internal belief that you're capable and worthy of handling any responsibility or challenge that comes your way. Then you begin with the consistency. Just find one task and be consistent at it. For me, when I shared this story before, that when I was working in a manufacturing environment, I was on a 4-year apprenticeship training program to be a certified numerical machinist, a CNC operator, and I'm going through this apprenticeship program, 8,000 hours, 4 years. About halfway through the apprenticeship, my boss, that I can call his name right now, but he may be watching, called me into his office. He said, Rich, you seem to be the most incompetent person that I ever met. Friend, let me tell you something. That was like a hot knife stabbed me. You seem to be the most incompetent person. I was devastated by that. As a young African American male, I was already having issues of abandonment and dealing with rejection. And now here, the supervisor, I'm doing what I believe, I thought I was doing well. He said, you seem to be incompetent. That crushed me. But I had to go to a place and make a resolve. And the resolve I made at that moment, and in that time, not at that particular moment, but not too long afterwards, that information is the difference between success and failure. Never again would anyone say that Rich was incompetent. But I began to build the discipline of learning. I began to build the discipline of being learning oriented. I believe that leaders are readers and note takers are money makers, right? And so I just embrace the idea of learning to do new things. Confidence is built from consistency. It's that eternal belief. Now, on the spiritual side, when we think about this topic of confidence, confidence rooted in our identity, knowing who we are and whose we are. There's a confidence that comes to us, friend, when we, as a child of God, we realize that I am a child of God. I am. I mean, just think about that. You are a child of God. Adonai, it said, the Lord, supreme one, the one and only, is my God, and he's my father. I am a son of God. You are a son and a daughter of God. Selah moment. The God that sees my past, my present, and my future all in one glance. The God that said, let there be light, and light was. Let there be a firmament that divides the heavens above and the heavens below, and there was. He said, let us make man after our image and likeness. Let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowls of the air, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 through 28. You are a child of God. And as a child of God, he doesn't make mistakes. You are perfect in all of your ways. Because the Bible says in First John, I believe it's somewhere around chapter 4, verse 17, that as he, Jesus, as he is, so are we in this world. So I'm made in the image and likeness of God. As Jesus is, so am I in this world. I am a son of God. So from a spiritual perspective, that confidence comes up because I know who I am and I know whose I am. And it's the same thing for you, friend. Confidence. So it's not built. it's something that we engage in, we discipline ourselves to do it. And so here's a final takeaway that I want you to walk away with. Before you doubt yourself again, remember this: confidence isn't something you're born with. Confidence isn't something, friend, that you're born with. It's something you build every courageous step you take. Hey, friend, do me a favor. If you found benefit in this episode, you found some value, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share this message with another person, another brother that may be challenged in the area of confidence. We would love to hear from you. And comment below, I am confident. I am confident. Well, that's all for today, friend. Thank you so much for taking time to join us on the Motivate Podcast Show. On the Motivate Podcast Show, we always say less, but we definitely want to believe for more.